Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Long time no see. Apologize for the content, but this is going to be a very special video. It's something that I've never done before, but this just so happens to be my 300th video. So that's exciting. But getting on into the video for today. These are going to be 24 books to read in 2024. Now, I've seen a lot of booktubers do this yearly, and I thought I would try it out. So, these are in no particular order of when and if I'm going to read them. But this is just like a challenge to set myself to explore new genres, read from genres that I love. So I have like a whole mix in here. And I have a lot of books to go through, so let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Like I said, in no particular order. This is just how I have it. So the first book I'm going to show off is Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. And this just so happens to be in this month's TBR, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it because I'm in the middle of Billy Summers. But anyway, this is a snowy thriller that is set up as like a slasher. And it's about like 8 people stuck in a cabin, and they're either being hunted by a psychopath or a creature. So I never read anything from Darcy Coates before, and I've been really wanting to. I think this is going to be a good start off. This particular novel is at $341. So this is going to be one of my next reads. But that is Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. Next. You guys are probably sick and tired of looking at this book, but I swear to God it is going to be part of this damn challenge. American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. Still haven't got to this sumbitch yet, but it's going to be the year. But this is about Patrick Bateman. He is a very successful Wall Street broker by day, but a serial killer by night. So that's all I'm going to tell you. That's American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. Next. It's going to be a reread for me, but I do have the physical copy here. Video Night by Adam Caesar. And this is a sci-fi horror, and it reminds me of like The Faculty in a way, because there's like an alien invasion that plagues this small town in the 80s. So I'm very excited to jump back into this one. He's become one of my favorite horror authors, so I definitely want to get through a lot of his stuff. So that is Video Night by Adam Caesar. And speaking of Adam Caesar, he's going to have a very big year because Cloud in the Cornfield 3, The Church of Friendo, releases in the summer, but he just wrote a screenplay for a movie called Last Night at Terrace Lanes, and it's basically like a slasher set up in a bowling alley. I really do want to check that out and see if I like it. But I really do enjoy him as an author. So just a little bit of tidbit information for you guys. But moving on, I decided to go with Mystic River by Dennis Lehane. And this book, or I mean, there was a movie that came out in 2003 based upon this book. And it's about a man who just lost his daughter in a horrific murder. So that's all I really know about this. Been a long time since I've seen the movie, but Clint Eastwood directed it, and it's a very great movie. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a great novel as well. So, Mystic River by Dennis Lehane. Chugging right along, I have The Ruins by Scott Smith. Straighten that out a little bit. But, or there was a movie that was also based upon this book. And this is a summer horror where spring breakers go to Mexico and they get plagued by Mayan ruins. So I heard that this is supposed to be a pretty messed up novel, very gruesome, and I'm all for it. Speaking of gruesome, this ain't the only gruesome book I have on this list, but that is The Ruins by Scott Smith. Something completely different. Next up is going to be 18 in Life and Skid Row by Sebastian Bach. And this is his memoir based upon his band Skid Row and his tumultuous lifestyle in the 80s. So, you know me, I'm a sucker for music and especially hair metal. And Skid Row is one of my favorite hair metal bands of all time, so I've been really wanting to read this, so I just put it in this list just because. And this runs at like 431, but you have a lot of pictures because it is nonfiction, so that is 18 in Life and Skid Row by Sebastian Bach. Moving right along, I have No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. And I've been really wanting to get back into Cormac McCarthy. So this is the story about a hitman who is on the loose by the name of Anton Chigurh. And the Texas Rangers are after him. I've seen the movie years and years ago, but I'll definitely need a refresher. So this one is actually pretty short. It's at 309, so I think I can definitely knock this one out. So, No Country for Old Men, Cormac McCarthy. Brother by Anya Alborn is next, and this is one of 3 very graphic, 2 of 5 very graphic books on here, but this is considered to be like hillbilly horror, and I do have another book similar to this one later on in this video. But this is about a cannibalistic family who hunts women, and one of the members of this family doesn't want anything to do with it anymore, so he escapes. And that's all I know about it. I heard a lot of people love this, and I really, really want to read it. So that is Brother by Anya Alborn, followed by The Road by Cormac McCarthy. So this is considered post-apocalyptic, but it's more of like a thriller. And this is a very disturbing book because it deals with like very graphic violence. And it's basically a story filled with like little to no hope. So it's basically about like this father and son who go through wasteland United States getting to the coast to have a better life. But as they go, they run into very horrific situations. Now, this is one of my most anticipated novels to read. So I really do want to read this soon. And it's another pretty short one. It's like 287. And the font is decent size. So that is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. All right, moving along, I have Devil House by John Darnielle. And if you noticed, there were a couple books that I added to this challenge that were in my popular horror books I want to read. You saw Brother in there, and you saw The Ruins, and you saw this one, and probably a couple more in here. So either way, it's a pretty good dent. But this is about a true crime writer who moves into this house, and I guess it's haunted. No, I think it deals with like the satanic panic. Yeah. So that's all I know about it. But it sounds like an interesting concept, and I definitely do want to read it. Cover by Alone. But that is Devil House by John Darnielle. Followed by something that I'm very intimidated to read, but everybody loves it. That book is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And this is the same author of The Martian, which I listened to on Audible a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it. But this is on the same aspect of The Martian, except that this is an astronaut lost in space, and he is on the brink of death. So I heard that this has some comedic elements to it, but it's going to be probably philosophical in a way. But this is one of my very few sci-fi novels I want to read very soon. So that is Project Hail Mary. And a lot of booktubers who already read this put this as their favorite book of that year. So we'll see what happens here. There it is. Okay, that is pile 1. So on to pile 2. First one is Blackmouth by Ronald Malfi. And this is a story of depression and grief and substance abuse. And I think this has something to do with a group of friends that battling something from their childhood. So I heard some people say that this compares to like It and Summer of Night. So don't really know much about this, but I did read Come With Me, and I really did enjoy that. So I want to get into this one. Black Mouth by Ronald Malfi. Next are two books by the same author, and I just recently got these books last month, and I've hearing a lot of acclaim from the both of them. So I have Mary and Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. And Mary is about a woman who suffers from short-term memory loss, and she always wakes up thinking that she killed somebody. So I've heard people compare this to American Psycho, so that's all I know about it. Seems pretty interesting and should be readable. So that is Mary by Nat Cassidy. Nestlings is about a family who just had a baby, and they win this apartment, but they find out that their baby has like teeth marks on their neck, and they're not sure how that happens. So this gives me Rosemary's Baby and Salem's Lot vibes. Definitely something I'd be very interested in. And I heard that it's supposed to be a very depressing novel. That is Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. Okay, moving right along. I have another famous booktuber. This is his first original novel, Fresh Hell by Cameron Chaney, part of the Autumn Crow High series. So this is his vision on Fear Street and Point Horror. And it takes place in 94. And it's basically about like this girl who dreams of like this random guy. But it turns out this guy has very dark secrets. So I thought it would be a fun book to read for part of this challenge because I love nostalgic horror, and this is definitely going to be up my alley. So that is Fresh Hell, Autumn Crow High 1 by Cameron Chaney. Followed by Full Brutal by Christopher Triana. And this is considered to be like the Mac Daddy of all extreme horror novels. This is about a 16-year-old cheerleader by the name of Kim, and she is into depravity and very brutal stuff. So, full brutal. But her intentions are to be impregnated by her teacher. So, she definitely spirals into depravity. So I'm guaranteeing that this is going to be a very rough novel. And I definitely can't wait to read it. I think. But that is Full Brutal by Christopher Triana. And not to mention, that's a sick cover. Followed by the book that compares to Brother Ken by Keelan Patrick Burke. And like I said, this is another hillbilly horror novel. But this is in the vein of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Wrong Turn. So this woman here escaped that family, and she is fighting to survive. So I really do want to read this one very soon. It's supposed to be a very, very brutal novel. So that is Kin by Keelan Patrick Burke. Followed by, believe it or not, 2 Book of the Month selections, and both of them are considered thrillers, but they are very different from each other. The first one I want to show off is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Been a while since I dove back into Riley Sager, and the dude released 3 more novels after this thing. And he's got another one coming out this year called Middle of the Night. But this is about a woman who is on the way home from college during the holidays in the 90s. So she picks up a hitchhiker, and she is considered to be as dumb as a box of rocks, and she might fall in love with this dude. So people either love this or hate this. So I need to get back into Riley Sager this year. And this is the book that I picked out. But that is Survive the Night. That other book is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. So this is a revenge thriller that features 2 men being brutally murdered, and one is white, one is black, and they form a friendship and go after the guys that murdered their sons. So, heard that this is a very heartbreaking novel, and I'm guaranteeing it's going to be a very tough read. But that is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I'm almost done here. Moving on, I have Bad Astronauts by Grady Hendrix, which just so happens to be another sci-fi novel. But this is in comparison to Project Hail Mary. But this is Grady Hendrix's version of a sci-fi book. And not to mention, it's very, very short, so it's got to happen. Bad Astronauts by Grady Hendrix. Okay, I'm back. Next up is The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum. And I really know how to pick them, don't I? But this is considered to be a very sad, brutal novel that is based on the true crime story of the murder of Sylvia Likens. So it's going to be a very tough read, and I just got to prepare myself for it. Because what's scarier, reality or unreality? I'm going with reality, because it's going to be a very, very tough one. But that is The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum. followed by, this is another recent book that I picked up last month, and another nonfiction, Lords of Chaos, The Bloody Rise of the Satanic Metal Underground, by Michael Moynihan and Didrik Soderlund. So this is all about the revolution of black metal. So these dudes are very, very evil. They burn churches, and all the parents hated this stuff. So, yeah. I think it's going to be a very fascinating read. And that is Lords of Chaos. Final two. That next one is The Summer Job by Adam Caesar. And I've had this on a couple TBRs per se. But this is about a woman who takes a job at like a hotel, but she finds out that this hotel is ran by Satanists. So I think it's going to be another good outing from Adam Caesar. So I'm definitely hoping to read more of his work. And this one seems to be like an earlier one. See when this thing was published. This was published in 2017. So definitely one of his first ones. But that is The Summer Job. And finally, to close off this video, I have The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I nailed it on the first try. Look at me. But this is by Grady Hendrix, and this is about a book club that features moms in southern Georgia, and they encounter like this new man into their life. They do some investigating, and they might find out that he is actually a vampire. So, Fright Night and Salem's Lot meets a book club. This is definitely up my alley. So I definitely can't wait to read this. But that is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And folks, those are the 24 books that I'm hoping to read throughout 2024. So, very self-explanatory. Let me know some of the stuff you guys want to read this year. And that's all I got for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. My next video is going to be my review on The Beekeeper, which I'll either film that tonight or tomorrow, because I saw that yesterday. But I also do want to go see ISS, which is like a new sci-fi thriller. I'm hoping to see that tomorrow, depending on the weather here. It's supposed to be very, very cold, but I can handle it. So I'll probably go see that movie tomorrow, then give you guys my thoughts on that. So hope you guys are doing well, and hoping your 2024 is filled with a lot of good reads and some very positive vibes. So that's all I got for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Peace. and don't read too many big novels, because I have a few. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Adios. Peace.